This video is about final preparations for the concrete slab, what went wrong during the day of the pour, and how to take care of the slab afterwards. Stay tuned. Hey there, welcome to YEA-FRAME. I'm Captain Pete. I'm here to help you build unique A-frames that others will envy. So if you're new here, hit the subscribe button and click on the bell notification icon and you'll be all set. Well, this is where underneath here I left the horizontal shower drain line, and I was going to box this out and pour around the box, but the more I think about it, I'm gonna put it right where it needs to be, and I'm gonna stub it out like any other pipe. Maybe just leave a little room around it. I'll take some accurate measurements and I should be able to get it where I need it. This is what happens after I get the foundation all set again, pretty much. I'm waiting to get termite treatment, and rain was due, so I didn't want to get the termite treatment, and here is what we end up getting, and more is due tomorrow. Swimming pool in the footings. Again, erosion. Never ending around here. Means I gotta let it dry out and dig it and fix it, and hopefully in a couple days, a few days, I can end up getting the termite treatment and the plastic and the rebar. But with all the rain due, I couldn't do it in time, and it would have just gotten diluted. So alright, well, I'm hanging in there. It's not easy, especially by myself. Well, Tropical Storm Barry, I think, is about to turn hurricane. Well, it went past here and we're supposed to get some more remnants, so this is what we got. Like I say, more rain, more washout. I feel like I'm stuck in the movie Groundhog Day. Same thing over and over. Look at it all. Washed out, ruined. All I do, I get on my hands and knees, I shovel it out, I fix it, it pours again the next day before I can, the weather, before I can get the termite treatment done. So I gotta wait for it to dry out a little. I gotta shovel it and fix it all again, and hopefully in the next few days I can get the termite guys here after I get it taken care of again and get some plastic on this and hope for better weather before the pour. Today I'm also I got some guides for the J-bolts that I'm gonna use some strips of wood. I'll show you that today, and so they're going to be easy instead of stringing a tape measure. And if you mark the top of the form boards, they always get concrete all over them and everything, and you can't see the marks, and so that's worthless. And to try to stretch out a tape measure and put them exactly where you want and everything else at the right height and stuff, that's not good either. So I came up with a way to do it, and I'll show you. Oh, let me show you over here too, by the way. I put in this right here. I put this in going down there. It is 3/4 conduit. I put in, I got it 1 3/4 to the center of the conduit is 1 3/4 inches away from the form board. So, because I'm going to have 2x4 gable end walls. If you're going to have 2x6 gable end walls, then if you're going to have something like this should be at 2 3/4. So this is to the center of it. I put this here because this is good. I stubbed it out, I put a cap on it, I put it about a foot below the future footing. So someday later on, that's going to be to the left of once you go into the front door, to the lights and everything else, but that's going to be for a lamppost outside, a little fancy light somewhere that you want to light up on a sidewalk, have a switch there. You want to bring power out to a carport, or a 3-way switch out to a carport or a garage, or power to a garage, or both. That's why I did 3/4, so it's enough, plenty big enough. You could probably get away with a 1/2-inch conduit, but I had the 3/4 anyway, and a little bigger, you know, like I say, I might run traveler wires for a 3-way switch and power. So there it is. Okay, here's the system. So I got all the boards placed up, well, the furring strips for my J-bolt locations. You'll see that one's R1 front. Means that's going to go right to the end of the slab on the right side of the house and butt up right there in the corner of the foundation, but it's going to be moved out to the proper spacing for my J-bolts from the edge. And I got the black hash marks, the little hash marks up top. That's where I'm going to set the J-bolts. And you see this one is R2 that way towards the front. More J-bolts. R3, that means right side 3. You get the idea. Over here. Start over here to the left. We got F1, and that's to the left, that's for the front. And the J-bolt spacing, F2, over here, the conduit and stuff, and that's nice. I'd like to be walking inside there at this point. Hey, now I'm gonna end up stacking them strategically where I need to, and they'll be ready to rock and roll when it's time for the pour. I'm gonna place them up on the slab while it's wet, push the J-bolts down in to the proper depth, turn them a 1/4 turn, and make sure they're plumb, and there you go. That's what's gonna happen with those. So I wanted to be prepared for that while the trench is drying out. Give me something to do. For customers of YEA-FRAME, detailed measurements will be provided for J-bolt locations. So, alright, well, I just wanted to give you a quick update. So, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Lately, I think it's been 2 steps back and 1 forward with all this rain and doing things over and stuff. But I'm going to get out of it, and I'm going to be standing on a proper deck. Oh, by the way, I'm not going to be time-lapsing me fixing the foundation or pulling weeds or stuff I've already done, but trust me when I tell you, I'll be on my hands and knees fixing this trench. After about 10 hours. We got this thing dialed back in. I am going to call the pest control guys. Hey, this is Bradley, who's going to be doing the termite treatment. Tell them what you're going to be up to.
And we're going to spray the slab for termites so the termites don't get in the slab once they get the house built.
And then you're going to come back after I grade it later on to touch it up on the outside, right?
Yes, sir. We'll do the trench and treat around the outside so they can't come from the outside too.
Alright, this is my pole system. I got a string line here, you see. Once I get the shims all in place and the right height for the pipe, I'll end up brad nailing it in place, the shim into the wooden block, so it doesn't move and fall out or anything like that. And that's it. We're going to be sliding the pole back and forth along, well, basically backwards. We're going to be sliding the pole backwards as we work. Alright, just got another sticker. Passed the foundation inspection. The inspector likes my work, so got the go-ahead to pour. Good morning. Here's the big day. Pour day. Waiting on two buddies to show up to help me out, and we're gonna do it. It's all set. Alright, they'll be here in a little bit. Alright, say good morning. Here we are. We're gonna do the pour. A couple buddies of mine. Introduce yourself and please tell us what kind of concrete experience you each have. I poured the slab for the shed, so let's see. Who wants to go first? Joseph? Tim?
Morning, name's Tim. Helping Peter this morning. Done a bunch of concrete up in northwest Pennsylvania. Horse barns, hay barns, that type of stuff. Just a bunch of stuff, a bunch of concrete.
Alright. So far he's the foreman, I don't know.
Morning, my name's Joseph. I've done helped Timothy up in Pennsylvania a little bit, and I've did the slab on my house and the garage.
Which is the same size, correct? 24
yes.
by 36.
Yep, same size as this.
Alright, well, I'm gonna put it on time lapse and you're gonna watch it go down. Stay tuned. Alright, well, there it is. The trucks didn't show up when they were supposed to. All different times messed up, threw our whole plan off. Was not able to get the J-bolts in. So, and the footing started to get hard and we couldn't push the J-bolts down later on. But we wanted to keep the concrete bonding to itself instead of having hard concrete and then later on go over it. So they messed up with the trucks, in other words. But our skilled labor helped save the day. Come on in here, guys.
Went smooth. It did. It went real smooth today.
So,
I've seen worse.
we all got our shirts. Where's our shirts, guys? Let's take this sweaty shirt on.
Could have gone a lot worse. Oh man. You see the garage in that house?
Get the crew. Let's get the crew in the shirts here. I was all prepared for that, but like I say, with the heat and the truck, they were supposed to come one at 8, one at 8:30, and one at 8:40. And we got like 8:30, like 10 o'clock, and like 10 past 10.
Yeah.
So they were way off, and you know, but whatever. But guys,
we got it though.
Heck of a job, heck of a job.
Well, really well.
All things considered.
Yeah, yeah. So just
It's
wet it
framing,
down.
man.
Wet it, well, wet it down.
Well,
Wet it down.
Got a
wet it
couple
down.
days, but
I think we should cover it now.
you know, hose it off.
Well,
Or,
I
you
don't know. Should we
wet
hose
little
it or
bit.
just cover it?
Well, check it on the corner because you don't want it to leave rain drip spots.
Right. That's why I wonder if we should even
Yeah,
just.
you could do it right here along the edge.
Yeah, I
I
never
don't want
see
to
it
see.
there.
No, that's not. I mean, that's the wet you have to be careful, but.
Okay, well, I'm wetting it down. It's covered. Hey, it's all about you got to be able to roll with the punches, and you can't count on anybody else except yourself. So, no, things didn't go perfectly, and they rarely do. That's it. I'm gonna keep wetting it down, hang out. We just went out and grabbed a bite to eat. Tim and I. His brother Joseph had to go back, and he poured the same slab. He's working on his house. I was glad that he gave me the time. He did. We started at 7:30. We finished at about 3. Waited a long time for this. Years and years and years. For 10 years, I dreamed about this. A lot of planning, a lot of planning. I'm going to be wetting this thing down for like a week, so I'll be out here wetting it, and then start digging away all this, digging it away, taking the form boards off, getting all the stakes out of the ground. Oh, and when the lady driver told me, oh, it's a little wetter than you might want it because I wet it down because they always tell me to wet it down. And I said, I'm not they. I wanted a 5-inch slump, and it was really runny. It was nowhere near a 5-inch slump. And I don't know, what goes through people's minds. If you order something, it's one thing that the trucks ain't right, but when they're bringing something that's soup, when I want a 5-inch slump, because they think that's what other contractors want them to do, well, I'm the one paying for it. I want it how I ordered it. So, all right, it's done. It's done. Well, it's been a long day. Just finished cleaning up some stuff. Still hosing, lifting the tarps up and spraying water under the different ones from time to time. And the heat is coming off of there. It's probably 140, 150 degrees. You open that thing up, it's a sauna. Wore out my fingertips. If I ever want to be a burglar, now's the time, since I don't have fingertips. And I got a caustic burn 2 on my shins. Let's see here. See if you can see it. I'm sure it's gonna get worse. Yep, there it is in some daylight. So, and one there, a little, not much there. So, what happened is, I got into it. I kneeled down into it, getting down and dirty, and then of course it was on my leg and it was burning, and then I hosed it down a little, and it was right there, like burning right at the top of my boot. Sure enough, these guys got long pants and I didn't, but so it's a shame we didn't get the J-bolts in, but they were running late. So the first truck was for the footings. We filled the footings to within 4 inches to the top of the form boards. However, the J-bolts were going to be going in like 7.5 inches. So the plan was to get the truck 2 and 3 here at the same time, well, 10 minutes apart, so we could set one up and then just set the other up on the other side and go right down the way, screeding as we go back. But when truck 2 ended up being over instead of a half hour after truck 1, truck 2 arrived an hour and a half after truck 1, an hour late. So the footings were starting to go off. So what I did was we took truck 2 and went right around and put fresh concrete over the footings, so they could, you know, bond together. This is a monolithic slab. You can't let that kick and get a cold joint. So that's what we had to do with truck 2 and to get going right away. And so, you know, hey, we're working it on the fly. And then, you know, of course, J-bolts aren't going to go in to that old concrete. So there goes the J-bolts. There goes setting all that up. But hey, we gotta, you know, and you wonder why it's usually me building by myself. My crew was great today, but concrete guys, they could have done a little better than that. So they made us change up our game plan quite a bit along the way, and now I gotta do something else with my sill plates because of it. So there you go. I'm gonna take a shower, put some ointment on this burn, and relax. But first I'm gonna wet it down again before I do that. Alright, good night. Got a representative from the concrete company coming by sometime around lunchtime today for a little talk about them dropping the ball. So we'll see what goes on with that. Well, yesterday I took all the nails and screws and everything else out of all these kickers and stakes. So burn it in the fire or whatever. And today I took all the form boards and cleaned the cement off them with the plastic. There wasn't a lot of cement, but cleaned the cement off them and used a little bleach and a little degreaser and scrubbed it to get all the dirt off, and just stacked them up there on some sleepers to let them dry out. So I want to use those again, so that's what that's all about. Yeah, so I can use them over again. There's a lot of wood there, a lot of money, about $125, so it's worth spending a few hours cleaning them. Hey there, it's been a week. I've been watering 2 to 3 times a day underneath the tarps. So I'm going to clean up the tarps a little, get some of the dirt off that I've tracked on there, and clean them up, take them off. So that's what's going on. Alright, you'll see I filled a couple little voids here and there. You'll see some darker on the edge of the slab. I took some quick set 1240 quick setting cement by Quikrete and some acrylic fortifier. Not their brand, I couldn't find their brand, but it's acrylic fortifier. I was told by the technician from Quikrete to mix half acrylic fortifier in half water and mix it like 5-to-1 with this, 5 parts of the cement. First you dampen the hole, like I got a little one right there. I'm gonna do a couple little more. Dampen the hole, not wet, but dampen, moisten, and put it in there. I'll mix them up, show you.
Here's a quick update regarding the concrete company. The general manager and 2 of his associates showed up here on a Saturday morning with a cooler full of Gatorade, 2 hammer drills, an impact driver, 39 Titan HD screw anchors, and a torque wrench. And we installed those screw anchors to specifications and got my sill plates down where they needed to be. They redeemed themselves in my eyes. They're okay in my book. You know, yeah, I bashed them throughout the video because, you know, let's face it, they deserved it. But they also deserve praise for doing the right thing and making sure I'm a satisfied customer. So, good on you guys. If you liked today's video, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, and if you feel it would be beneficial to family and friends, consider sharing it. To find out more about YEA-FRAME, click on the link in the description below. And remember, build safely.